All right. I think we are live. This has been a while. Yep, the live stream seems to be excellent. If you're here and everything works, please let me know by dropping it in the chat so I can see whether everything is up. And in the meantime, I will also just double check it myself. Yep, there we go. That's me, yeah. All right, cool. Today we'll be checking out CoreCLR from Unity, and this is the, yeah, I wouldn't even say modern anymore, but it's the latest .NET runtime for C#. And it's supposed to be a lot faster than Mono, which is what Unity currently uses. And it even should be a lot faster than IL2 CPP. And what IL2 CPP does, it's generating C++ code from C#, which often is faster. But from testing which I've seen, the performance actually is better for CoreCLR compared to IL2 CPP, sometimes even getting close to burst code, which is highly optimized static coding. So that is really excited. So on the forums there was an announcement for this, and some people already tested it out. We will testing it out in some smaller projects, like the Unity boat attack template and the 2D template. So we can try both 2D and 3D games. And here you can see the Nbody benchmark from someone. And you can see, oh, this is, let me make it a bit bigger. You see burst, of course, is the fastest since it's static. It can even run in the background, just a lot faster. You see when Mono does this, it is taking a very long time. IL2 CPP is of course a lot faster, and then CoreCLR is even faster than IL2 CPP, while it keeps the full C# runtime, which is very nice. I believe CoreCLR, not sure if this is the current version, but also can optimize the code down the line. So if you start out, it is a bit slower, and when you interact with it more and more, it keeps going. I do see that there's a warning. My bit speed is, oh, that's my Creator Studio. Let me quickly see if I can fix this warning. Stream settings. Analytics, status. And it should be fine. Sorry, it has been a while since I have done anything live. Oh, it's taking the locked bitrate, so that can just be at 30. Can I apply this midstream? I hope so. And the max should be at 40, I think. Or let's just do 50 and see what YouTube does. Apply. I think this is working. Yep, we're still there. And it's uploading at a higher speed, so the warning should be better now. So the bitrate should be a bit better. Not sure how much it matters since most of this will be static. But another benchmark from someone is running path tracing. And here you can see in Mono the multi-threaded path tracing. And I do like to include the multi-threaded option since the future is probably more multi-threaded. It's about 1 million rays per second. Then IL2 CPP is 5.3 million rays per second, which is already over 5 times faster. And then CoreCLR for this is absolutely insane. It is almost 10 million rays per second, which means CoreCLR is, in this test, 10 times faster while losing less memory. And then someone else here reporting something else. Oh, that's parallel 4. I believe you should use the job system for that either way. But anyhow, you can see it's also like from going 500,000 rays per second to 3.7 to 10, which is almost 20 times faster than Mono, which is absolutely insane. And there's someone with an actual runtime project from Mono, which is about 60 FPS. It goes to 86 FPS with apparently a lot better 1% lows, which is huge. So today we'll be trying this out in some projects of our own. One of it is the boat attack demo. This is a demo from Unity, which I upgraded to the latest alpha. And in editor it works, so we are going to find out if it works in the builds. And if not, how we should fix it. So to quickly iterate on how to get this working. Also, I see we have 2 people watching, so if you're there, it would be welcome if you could drop something in the chat. Just say hi so I know the stream is set up properly and people are actually getting some video in. But if you go to the latest alpha releases, I believe this is the latest one. Yep. You can go to Manage, Add Modules, and where normally you include the IL2 CPP build for Windows, Mac, and Linux, right now you can also select Windows build support CoreCLR, which of course is still experimental. So at the moment they don't support this for anything production ready, but it is just to try everything and make sure that your code works for a future editor release. And then starting in 6.8, which is after the LTS, they will start to improve performance more, and they will also, of course, improve the compatibility and add more platforms, since just PC is a bit basic. I would love to see this on Android, since I work a lot on Android for VR, which is on the Quest, and that's running Android. And just getting more stable FPS is already a huge issue. Even if it's just 5%, imagine it being more than 2 times the performance. So you can just set it here for your desired platform, and then you can use it in Unity. To enable it, you need to go down in the player settings, and you need to have CoreCLR as the scripting backend. By default, this is on mono, and if you put it at IL2 CPP, then it's IL2 CPP, and the new one is CoreCLR. By default, it selects .NET Standard 2.1, and they will add the new .NET and C# features down the line. So if you're interested in that, that will be for future releases. Right now, they're really focusing on getting the compatibility there. And also, I believe I should post a small notification that I'm live now, so people can actually join. Alright, so if you're watching, any questions could be in the chat. I will not look at Discord or other platforms, so if you want your questions answered, definitely let me know over there. So right now we're going to make a build for CoreCLR. So we build. I'm also going to be noting down the boot times and the build times. So if it is faster than IL2 CPP, that would be huge. Builds. It's Windows CoreCLR, select. There's no, this is fine. I don't need the feedback of that. Also curious if this will just compile C# or if it's also going to do something else, since normally you wait a long time for IL2 CPP to complete, like a few minutes to sometimes more than half an hour or an hour. So the actual compilation also might be faster, so I'm really curious how that will perform. And of course, we do have to bake all the shaders. That's, as per usual, probably gonna be the longest. Oh, I should probably save the scene. Also, while this is going, I'll show you the other project. This is one set up from scratch using the 2D prefab. No, the prefab, the template. So in the package manager, it is the Happy Harvest one. View in Asset Store. There you go. So this is, yeah, just a harvesting 2D game, very cutesy. And I did want to see if there's any difference between 2D and 3D, as 2D tends to be a bit more CPU heavy, especially because there are a lot of images that need to be rendered. So we'll check that out as well today. And for this, I'm also just going to check all the settings real quick. But I think I already went through all the most important settings, like of course putting it on CoreCLR. I see this does have both input systems, but I don't think that is going to give any issues. I do want to disable the XR package, so we have some faster shader compilation, so it doesn't include them. I don't think this has cloth in it as well, so that can also be disabled. Also, another idea I had is to have a stream where I try to make the smallest builds for Android, Windows, and web, which also might be a fun project to just see what's a good starting point if you want to create a very small app, especially for web-based games. It is really nice if you can keep it under a few megs. So the load times are faster, and if people are on mobile data, it doesn't go as quickly through your data. So that's also in the pipeline to kind of see how far we can push it and what we can strip out. As I know Unity have made some improvements there, and there are some behind the scenes stuff like removing all these XR packages and stuff that can probably help a lot. Yeah, that's still stuck on compiling shaders. So now for the 2 people watching, welcome to compiling scripts and compiling shader simulator. This is, yeah. I think my PC is not gonna like me at the moment. No, Task Manager is way too heavy to boot up. Oh, yeah, that's rough. All right, this one is actually done, so that's nice. Cool. And also good to know that the scripts in here aren't fully optimized. I tried to optimize the easiest warnings, but all of these, like all the background static initializations, they are not gonna be ported by me. So that's probably gonna be in another release of their system when LTS drops with the support for this. But I think it might be good to just go ahead and build both. Or maybe as this is 3D, I can strip out some stuff here. Let's all set up no terrain shaders, which is very nice. And I wish with these sample projects, as they are quite steady, they would do the preload graphic state, so it would know which shaders to pick. But for now, let's just go for it. Doesn't help that I'm also streaming for the CPU performance, and this is Windows CoreCLR. All right, so that's being hammered. And it's already at code striping, so that's good. Oh, I think this release also has the link time optimization, or is that not for PC? We do have Bottlenecks ready, and CoreCLR. That is cool to see. So these are the native binaries, and then everything should execute without mono. And let me quickly check in Bottlenecks what the build time is. But it's not too bad. Bottlenecks. I believe this might have to be different, but for now it's fine. Yeah, all kinds of shader warnings. That's gonna be fun. And the sort mode should be fixed, but that's for someone else to try out. And the test project is already done. That is really fast. Let me quickly check the project. Doesn't want to open. That's promising. Oh, there we go. 31 seconds for a... This is a cold build, by the way. That is very impressive. Yeah, it is loaded. It should be there. So that's a 2D project. So if that's really the case, if this is fully built, that's really nice. We do have the... I'm not sure which profiler it will launch, but that should be fine. We have analysis and profiler. And it should connect to here once we launch it. That's the test project, and this should be Bottlenecks. Dylan, did you already measure any on-device impact for VR? I did not at the moment, also because it is currently PC only, and all my projects are primarily built for Android-based headsets, so that will be in the future. If we have time, I would love to try a VR project that I made in the past, but I feel like it's gonna take a long time to fully update that from probably Unity 2021 up to 6.7. And I see Bottlenecks is not launching. That's not a good sign. That's not doing much now. Can we link it up? No response. That's a good one. Does it do any logs here? Nope. Editor. Yeah, it should also log the player. All right, let's see if the test project works. Otherwise, this stream might be very short. All right, that's good. It's black. It's probably launching. Camera data is not being initialized. This is not a good sign. Let's close it for now. Let's see if there's anything interesting at the start. GPU resonant drawer. That might be an easy fix, especially since this project is a bit faster to build. We are in the project, of course. We can just disable the resonant drawer for now, and then just go without. Shouldn't be too much of an issue since the project is 2D either way. Oh, it is disabled. Why did it force me to use the resonant drawer then? We don't need forward plus for the 2D renderer, right? No, it's not even an option. No, that's not gonna happen. Then why does it give errors about it when it's not being used? Yeah, lens flare is not supported. That's completely fine. Why do we need to debug resonant drawer when it's there? Universal camera data has been created. That should be fine as well. Maybe by default, I think the 2D unused variants and the post-processing variants were disabled, so we could give that a shot. We really don't need terrain shaders. So that's probably fine. No shaders are being preloaded. Should be all good. The main menu, in Unity this loads just fine. So this should be the main menu. You can just start it up, press start and have a go. Edit. Yeah. Probably something in the background missed, but there we go. We have working transitions, outdoor scenes. Yeah, that works great. Also, you guys are getting audio, right? That's a quick check. All right. Yeah, okay. But audio is working. That's quite important, I think. All right, cool. Then let's go back to here and see if it builds now with that stuff disabled. We're going to build it to the same one, and this is going to be a warm build, except for some extra shaders. So the C# part should be very fast right now. Oh, here you see all the shader variants for the 2D shaders, so it might be that it just missed some shaders there. All right, there we go. That's, again, very fast. This was 10 seconds, 15 for a warm build. Not fully warm build as the... It was compiling some more shaders. But let's just see if this opens in the meantime. Otherwise, we might need to force back to DirectX 11. It doesn't seem to be too happy to boot this one up now. Oh, two projects. No, again, I think it stripped out some rendering stuff. So maybe the player settings, the code striping, it is at low. That should be fine. But let's disable it. It should be at release. Let's not optimize anything. And I think it's probably gonna be the same for GPU as in the drawer, won't it? Oh, that error is gone now, so that's good. Then I'm just not sure why it is calling the universal camera data has already been created. Yeah, that's here. That's set up properly. Default renderer. That really should be all good. I can disable post-processing just to be sure. Gonna help the GPU performance either way. Is this a GPU project? I've been experiencing crashes in OpenXR using DirectX 12. Switch back to DirectX 11. This currently is not a VR project. I'm trying to get Unity's Bottlenecks and their 2D farmer template running, so we can just have a very basic test, which is also reproducible by other people. So far, I'm not having good results on the build as it's just crashing. But for the VR issues with OpenXR, make sure that you update Unity and the OpenXR packages, as there have been a lot of changes in it recently. For me, when I tried 6.3.19, which is the latest release, using all the latest XR stuff, so that's XR plugin. This is a new version as well. Oh, it's missing as well. I believe it's like 2.6, right? No? 2.5? Anyhow, that's a bit annoying. But if you update OpenXR and all the latest stuff, then that should be a lot better. So first try that. Also update your GPU drivers, as XR support for DirectX 12 hasn't been too good in the past. But for me, it did work fine after updating everything. And that's using DirectX 12 both in URP and HRP. So yeah, definitely check out the latest versions of every package there is. Also using the preview packages might be very helpful for that. Alright, but right now we are going to try and make this run with some better settings without post-processing. But honestly, I just think the 2D renderer isn't ready for CoreCLR yet. So this is the last test for 2D Unity. Yeah, there have been some rendering fixes for XR, I think, in the last, I think it was 3 or 4 updates ago. So the latest version might be helpful. And next to that, it does, of course, still help to update the separate packages as well. So whenever you're in a project... Oh, let me open it up. Bottlenecks. For anything XR related, that's not these, but I can show you either way. Just go to changelog, and then right here, just select the highest one possible. Quite often it keeps you stuck on a previous update, which is verified for that release. But there have been a lot of newer fixes as well, which can be very helpful. Right, that one is, again, errors. It has succeeded, but the bind MS flag. Let's see if this does anything. Oh, it started up, so that's good to know. Post-processing is not working currently for 2D. I'll create a bug report in a second. We are having errors, and I do think the audio is quite loud. Sorry, this is up and running. That's a great starting point. Everything is loading in, interactions work. Cool. Menu works. Yeah, that's fine at 720p. Then we can stress the CPU even harder. Let's see if the profiler connects. All right, this is really exciting. Profiler? Seems to not want to. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's a lot of FPS. Just moving around. Nothing too special. We switch items. All right, that should be good. All right, so Time-wise, we're around 2 milliseconds, which to me sounds good. A lot of this is, of course, still rendering the frame. It is 2D, but it does use all the lighting features. But over 200 FPS should be plenty. Yeah, a lot of it is just going to the main camera, culling the objects. Tilemap rendering, still something that should be optimized. I do quickly want to check if there's an option for tilemaps, because I think there was a... Oh, and then I used multi-threading for the 2D physics, which wasn't enabled by default. No, then it should be probably enabled by default. All right, so let's quickly make a capture of the profiling data. Not build analysis. Where is it? I feel like I'm missing something here. Is it in a package? I'm just reading over it, that's also possible. Analytics, no. Profile analyzer, there we go. It was missing. This is a very nice tool, by the way. You can basically compare two separate snapshots of your profiler and kind of compare the performance between them. So this is going to be great to compare either Mono and CoreCLR or IL2CPP and CoreCLR. I will not be comparing CoreCLR, IL2CPP to Mono, as both should be known by now. But right now we should have the analysis and the profile analyzer. There we go. Pull data. All right, sweet. Yeah, so here you can just select a range and you can see that the player loop is taking the most thing, and then second largest thing is finish rendering, then the third is the actual rendering. So it just kind of drops down the profiler one by one, and you can have a minimum and maximum across multiple frames, which is very nice. So if there's one script which spikes a lot, you can also see that here in the maximum values. You can sort, you can sort by it. So this is a really nice tool if you want to compare performance. So now let's do the worst case scenario, switch to Mono, and make a separate build for that. Also, I think I do want to do a clean build to compare the performance. No, drop down, clean build. So just for your information, this built in, I think it was 60 seconds or something, or 30 seconds, which is crazy. So let's see how well Mono does with building. The previous one is, 31 seconds for just a single build. That was the one with errors, however. So let's do double check that later on as well. Yeah, this one is also going to be very fast, I think. Are you noticing improved build times for CoreCLR? I can't tell yet. Still currently trying that out. I first needed to get it working as it started crashing at the start. So I think I'm one of the first to actually compare the build times between both. This also looks quite good, honestly. So let's see. It's always annoying when the build is done. Unity still takes such a long time to get back to the editor, while it's not displaying any waiting symbol or anything. Trying really hard to click console. What's it even doing in the meantime? Also wouldn't be surprised if it is still an alpha, so it could just instantly crash. I hear that it's 10 times faster than Mono and 2 times than IL2CPP from Reddit. Not sure if it's accurate or not. Honestly, that is... Oh, there goes the console. 10 times this could be quite accurate, but it is good to know that that is for a very specific task. So that, I think, was the Ray Marcher. I had it open right here, I think. Oh. Let me quickly go to the discussions. And... Oh, people are still talking in the thread. That's nice. Yeah, there are some people that compared it already. So this is a comparison between burst, which is hyper optimized and static. Mono, which is not that fast. IL2 CPP, and then CoreCLR beating IL2 CPP. So that is from an Nbody runtime benchmark, whichever that is. Here's someone doing a Ray Marcher, which is incredibly CPU heavy if you do it on CPU. And for that, with multi-threading, Mono is using 1 million rays per second, L2 CPP 5.3, and CoreCLR up to 10 million rays per second. So I think this is the one you mentioned, that it's 10 times faster than Mono. But here's someone else also made a different benchmark, probably really highlighting the specific thing it's really good at. And here it goes from 0.5 million rays to 3.7 million rays to 10 million rays. So in that case, it is 2.3 times faster than L2 CPP and up to... Oh wait, here's the parallel 4. Then it can be for multi-threading up to 18 times faster. And then here's a probably more realistic goal, which is a CPU-bound game. And it goes from 60 to 86 FPS and smoother 1% low, so that's very impressive. I think this one was done in 40 seconds, so that should mean that build times are faster. So this is CoreCLR, and this is Mono. I do want to redo CoreCLR as well quickly while we're at it, as it's just not too long. I think that's nice to do a clean build without any build running in the background. So I do wonder, for the people who are watching, is this something that you're going to switch to when it's in beta or when it's in the first version that is out? Or are you also gonna wait a bit to see it mature a bit more? I'm kind of on the fence for some projects I've been working on. I think I'm going to switch when it's... when the LTS is fully out, so out of beta. And honestly, for Windows, I might just use CoreCLR and just hope it works. Again, it is not meant for production yet. That is coming in 6.8 and later. But honestly, for these performance results, that's something you can't really ignore. 23 seconds for CoreCLR, so it does build a lot faster in this specific project. I do kind of want to run it as well now with IL2 CPP, as that's probably gonna take a while longer. Because IL2 CPP first needs to compile the C# code, and then it will convert that into C++ code, and then the C++ code will be converted into machine code, so that's a lot more steps. So clean build for this. IL2 CPP build. I'm also not gonna have a lot of builds to test, since it takes too long to properly test this out with like 20 tests or something. Waiting for IL2 CPP compatibility, since XR requires it for Android. I think the IL2 CPP requirement for Android is because Mono in Unity doesn't support 64-bit on Android. I think that is the main reason why they require you to use IL2 CPP. Because it is a full scripting backend, so you can't use both CoreCLR and IL2 CPP as far as I know, so you're completely switching them. So I believe what's gonna happen is that once CoreCLR is out for Android, that's probably gonna be like 6.8 or 6.9, 6.10, somewhere in that range. Then I do believe that's Oculus and probably also the Play Store will open up to CoreCLR as well. But it might take some time for them to properly adjust all the checking, as the checks are quite strict, I know, at least for Meta. So I do believe this will open up all the stores with CoreCLR, as it does support full 64-bit, including all the single instruction, multiple data optimizations. But IL2 CPP will use CoreCLR BCL. That's new to me. Let's quickly look it up. Oh, also that's done at 90 seconds. So yeah, that's nice. That's like more than 3 times speed up in builds. That's good to know. And let's just see if this gives any results. L2 CPP interrupts ARM64. No idea what this is yet. Probably gonna be mentioned somewhere in this thread if we load all the messages in. Thing on Android. Native CoreCLR is, yep, that's fine. L2CPP is based on .NET 10. Yeah, so L2CPP will be updated. That's very nice. Yeah, it's taking longer to get, which is Android Mono. Oh, here. Oh no, that's the sticking over .NET ahead of time, which is also nice, as it does, when using the .NET ahead of time, it does use the .NET framework instead of having their own conversion. Yeah, L2CPP will remain here. That's completely fair. This is a solid project. And will you reuse the old garbage collection? That is a bit of a bummer, as the new garbage collection should be a lot more performant. A lot of talk about L2CPP here, that's nice. Yeah, like consoles don't allow JIT compilation. Android, Apple also doesn't allow it. WebGL and Universal Windows Platform, but I do believe, yeah, when using it, when looking at emulators, JIT is allowed on Android, which is why emulators are faster on Android than iOS usually. So it could run on. Oh wait, base class library. All right, I honestly haven't looked into BCL yet, so I'm not too sure. But from my understanding, they do allow JIT compilation on Android, so maybe that will hit the Play Store or Meta, as usually they're not too strict on JIT, as it is still completely sandboxed within the .NET runtime. But I think for this is something that we'll have to see which platform does and does not accept it. But for now, let's test out some players, as all should have been built by now. So let's first check L2CPP, as pretty much any project I've seen in the last while has been using it. It does boot up, that's nice. That is easier than CoreCLR already. Oh, let's close the previous one. And let's profile it. Clear this and record. Also, we were outside when we started to benchmark it, so that's good that it's in the same area. All right. This, I honestly have no idea. This is about between 2.2 and 3. Let's put it in the analyzer. Pull the data. Wait, no, for the different one, for the compare. I think it's using both for the same one right now, right? Yeah. Pull the data for the second one. Right, so there was one very big spike there, but I think we should be fine for just everything here. And the left one, the blue one, is CoreCLR, right? Yeah. So here you can see that the garbage collection is a lot faster. Oh. They finally implemented screenshot in the profiler. Yeah, it's a separate package. It's called the Profile Analyzer. Oh, wait, here are the screenshots. Yeah, I didn't even notice it actually. Cool. Nice. I honestly not too sure when that dropped, but it looks quite good. It's quite nice if you have a bit more varied game. I wish you could see a graph here properly. Wait, I think we might have to do this. Yeah, the largest differences, that's just garbage collection. This one is not running at all in CoreCLR, so that's fine. The player loop itself is also faster, of course. And the other way around, for some reason the caching is faster on IL2 CPP. Same some animation stuff, the multiply pass probably, and the completing job handles. That's also interesting that it's faster on IL2 CPP. I did forget where to look at the complete time for everything. Oh, here are the medians. The left. Yeah, so we go from a median of 2.1 to 2.5, which is I think that is 2.49 divided by... this might be wrong. I haven't done this in a while, sorry. If my math doesn't fail me, that's a like 17% performance increase. But let's put it in the... Also, is there not an FPS value? That's also would be nice. No, I don't think so. So I'm not fully used to this tool right now. Oh, there's also the garbage allocations. That's also interesting that the garbage is a little bit less, it seems, at the... Wait, no, more at the right. Where's the big difference coming from? Oh, wait, I think the selection is not the same. That's not gonna be fair. Yeah, that's about in range, so... Alright, the medians stay the same, that's good. And let's do a different one for performance. Happy harvest. So CoreCLR is the left one. Let's just use the median or mean. The average value, yeah, let's do mean for now. 2.3 milliseconds. And for the right one, the mean is 2.8. Also, let's do it properly. 0.82. So this is not supposed to be like this. This was CoreCLR. This is L2CPP. All right, and let's open up. Is it closed? Yep. That's Bottlenecks. Where's the other one? Having too many menu windows already. Oh, let's start up mono. I think this one is gonna hurt a lot. All right, cool. Also good to know this isn't a perfect selection, as this is using what's it called? This is on my quite high-end PC, but it is also streaming. So no, your performance will be a little bit different, of course. Why are you not connecting? There we go. 1000 FPS in the main menu. There we go. So let's just keep walking around here, selecting multiple things, walking around even more. I think that should be plenty. All right, here you can see that this actually is not performing too bad. This was the mono one, right? Yeah. Honestly, I expected worse performance than this. Also good to know, actually, the maximum. Right, there's one big spike here, so that's a bit unfair. So let's exclude that one random spike, as that could honestly be anything. The maximum is also a bit lower, that's good. And the upper quartile. Yeah, so FPS, I didn't see that big of a spike, except this random one. So that's good, yeah. Just everything is faster. Right, but let's now load in the data from Mono to see how that performed. And let's select a similar time frame. 2.71. Is Mono performing better than IL2 CPP here? Cool. That's not what I expected at all. Yeah, this is the mean. Alright, this is just a one run thing, by the way. Like, this is not definitive performance. But yeah, overall then, this one can go here. Overall, that's quite alright. But I just expected Mono to do worse than this. But hey, I'll take it. So any major difference in the... No, I wouldn't say so. This is also probably not a good check, since I'm just dragging and dropping here. But it does seem that it's the left, so that CoreCLR does allocate a bit less garbage. So that would be good if that's optimized in some way. So right, that's the test for this one. Again, not a very thorough test, but build times are crazy fast, so that's really nice. And then the performance, it speaks for itself. It's a lot faster. Right, so that's this project. Actually, in the meantime, let's create a small bug report for CoreCLR. That doesn't work with the 2D post-processing. Also, for the 3D project, I might want to try the new shader compiler, as I believe the latest alpha also has the DXC shader compilation, I think. Let's double check that. Oh, anything different about CoreCLR by any chance? No, nothing selected right here. Clean build. Yeah, no, fair enough. Oh, here's someone, speak of the devil, also doing incremental builds. Wait, that's funky. This would be crazy, but it's probably going to be something else than the scripting backend. I don't believe it's going from 1 hour and 12 minutes to 1 minute, but if so, that would be really good. Is it started? Yep, there we go. And let's quickly see if it is just the post-processing which broke it, and to see if it's not a mono issue as well. Might just be that Unity doesn't like it in the alpha that I enabled post-processing. There we go. Let's make a separate test one right here. So, all right, well, that's going. Let's debug the boat attack project, as it doesn't even open. So that's gonna be fun to try to work out. Let's close windows we don't need, by the way. Boat attack, there we go. This one just doesn't do anything. Just crashes. Oh, there we go. That's fast. Does it work in mono? Nope, also crashes. Right? Oh no, there we go. That works. So then it's probably gonna be a CoreCLR issue. Yeah, that's gonna take a while, of course. No logs here. I'm gonna quickly check the logs in a separate monitor. Since it's probably in app data, local low. Then this is Unity Technologies. Boat tech, there we go. Player log. Yeah, great. Is it the provider that crashes? That would be annoying. That's not very useful, is it? Initializing the provider. It does work here, so that's interesting. So that this now at CoreCLR, this should break it again. Oh, this is also not gonna be happy, yeah. Yeah, it's we need to delete the contents of test. Fair enough, you can't have both mono and CoreCLR in that. Alright, let's see if this works. In the meantime, for boat attack, if you guys have any ideas what could cause this crash, if it's just crashing on initializing the provider, then definitely let me know. Especially since the 2D project did work fine. Also, it's already done, my goodness. Let's see if this one does boot up. That's suspicious. What else did we change? I believe it was shader. Yeah, it was the shader striping. So then it might not be CoreCLR related, but let's try to wrap up the bug report either way. Man. Then it might be the graphics and then having these enabled. And that should be it. Let's do a clean build, by the way. It should be very fast, which is nice. Test CoreCLR, check. Also wonder, since probably some people watching are working on VR projects, do you actively work on desktop and do you really profile that? Or is it like you're primarily focusing on Android XR and whenever you make a PC build, it's probably going to be so much faster that performance should be fine? Curious how much you look into the PC performance with that. It also boots up. Interesting. At this point, I am not too sure what causes the issue. Interesting. Alright, but for boat attack, yeah, this is fine for now. We could quickly try mono to see if that runs fine. Save and continue, sure. Might be good to know if it is an issue with CoreCLR or just with the alpha being an alpha. I'm still confused that it doesn't give the errors anymore through GPU Resident Drawer. I'm also wondering why GPU Resident Drawer is even an option when the 2D renderer is selected, as you can't use forward plus or deferred plus in a 2D project. Like, I don't believe you can set it anywhere. No, downsampling methods. I don't believe so. Also, I profile both. Profiling on Android builds is a big pain though, so mostly using OVR metrics. And I can just, when I can just give high level metrics like CPU and GPU distillation. Yeah, honestly, OVR metrics is really nice to just debug the performance very easily. And just you change something, try it again and see if it lowers the usage or changes the FPS. That's like 90% of the optimization I do in Android as well. And I do also like that when you try something in Unity or in a PC build, that's a performance improvement in those builds often also translates to Android. So that's also, yeah, quite nice. Also, the time is currently almost 5 p.m. I'll be streaming for, probably at least half an hour and up to an hour, depending on how these builds go. Since I don't think I can break this again. So something broke, we fixed it. That's good. And hey, I saw IO2 CVP in here. should be at mono. Let's see if this compiles it properly this time. And also disabled the XR shaders for this project, so that all should be quite a bit faster. Oh, we can also try some different optimizations that I did do there. Boat attack, the new one, mono. Is this gonna launch? That's looking a lot better. Oh, this does work. Okay. Oh. Blitter is initialized. Can I just enter through it to a menu? No. Alright. There is something here in the probably post-processing again in water that breaks. Oh. Yeah, they have a quite complex water system right here, which does look amazing. But yeah, it's probably not made for 6.7 at all. So let's just try to yoink it out. In here as a custom one? No. Panini projection? No. In this, no, not in the scenes, it's in the settings. Where's settings? Did it not use the default settings folder for all the URP stuff? It's all good. Then let's go via here. Where is it? Oh, it's in data. This is an official project. Why did they do that? But all right. Yeah, that should all be fine. What were the errors? They're here. The blitter. Is there anything at the start about initialization? Boat attack UI, half tone fade. Couldn't find screen space ambient occlusion. Yeah, that's because it's disabled. And a null reference in nothing. Okay, great. Let's just disable all the post-processing and then go from there. We can use screen space ambient occlusion, right? That's fine. It's gonna be quite ugly to remove the water system from running as well. We kind of want water to be here. Yeah, there we go. Oh, it's just wait, what's there are two layers of water, it looks like. Like one lower one and one higher one. Interesting. So then they use this mesh probably. This probably is a mesh, right? It's terrain. Honestly, a quite impressive demo. Water. It's probably mesh based, I'm guessing. Right, cool. Yeah, let's just see if this works better. It's mono, right? Yeah. Now, this might also be an issue with the new compiler, the shader compiler, because it might be enabled by default. But I do have to check the settings in a bit to see if that's actually the case. Oh, I do believe right now, since I enabled screen space ambient occlusion, that it did override all my shaders. So this might take a little bit longer, as it's calculating all the screen space ambient occlusion variants. Yep, there we go. As expected. It is quite nice that there are community not forks, branches of Unity 6.3 for boat attack, I think. And then hopefully in the future also 6.7 when it LTS drops. But that's quite nice to have some kind of base level. So I'm kind of surprised that it did break, as it is the official sample. So Unity could quite easily probably test this project as well when trying out new features. But let's see what it does without the water pass. Let's get OBS back up. Nope, my PC is not happy with me doing anything here. I'm not too sure if we will do a cold compilation test every time for all the platforms. Maybe if we have some extra time. For now, let's just try to get it working and then focus on the performance. Oh wait, it did... No, it did have errors. It was black, the screen. So we do have to try this. I was like, it booted up, so why is it not working? But we also needed to boot to actual graphics instead of a black screen. Oh, there you go. We get something working. This one, Bodetech, please work. Hey, there we go. Oh, that's exit. Great. All right. Let's actually race now. Single player. Oh, you can spectate. More AI is more performance, right? Still very impressed with the sample. Looked really good as well. All right, should we get the profiler up and running? I think so. Profiler. Clear. Just whenever it's ready, we can start it. Oh wait, we're already spectating. Okay, let's record then. Oh, this kept at 240. VSync is on. Classic. All right. Good that this is running. That's a good start. Let's disable FreeSync. It's gonna be nice. And any other settings here? Yeah, let's disable this actually for now, so it's more CPU intense. 2 gigs is fine. Yeah, I think this is all fine. All right, let's do a quick build for mono again, and then afterwards we can try to get this working on CoreCLR again. Yes, save it again. I'm not sure why it keeps asking me to save the scene after I haven't changed anything. That's probably something with a custom script somewhere. Right, that's very fast. I'm not used to the mono build times anymore. But I do appreciate it. Alright, yeah, sure, let's just race. No, don't have to press anything to follow a boat. Oh, there we go. I pressed a lot of buttons and it worked. No, I don't want this. I think it's just mainly the same one, so it should run the AI no matter what. Yeah, those are some good shots of the boats. Alright, sure. Let's pull in this data now and close this. So also, honestly, not too bad. Like, this is a 3D scene and it renders the same or more with more performance than the 2D scene. That's amazing. Sometimes it's probably just some bottleneck somewhere in a pipeline rather than actually being dependent on the backend. I'm not blind, right? Is it? Oh, it wasn't the other project. Wait, I think we need to. Yeah, we needed to install it here as well. Which hardware are you on right now to build so quick? I got a AMD Ryzen 9950 X3D, so it is a bit overkill, but it is very fast. I built this PC at the start of this year to just plow through projects. 64 gigs, 5070 Ti, and the SSD is probably the most overkill. The SSD isn't the main SSD, that's this one. It's just a 990 Pro. It is very fast, by the way. It's not just a 990 Pro. But I got sponsored 2 SSDs from Memblaze when I was visiting, and One of them is a 4TB PCIe Gen 4 SSD, and one is an 8TB PCIe Gen 5 SSD. I made a review on TechDunk some time ago on this, but this thing is crazy. It can do like 14 gigabytes a second reads, sustained, like without any slowdown, where, of course, the 990 Pro, after you read or write to it for an amount of time, it just starts to tank in performance. But this one just keeps going at 40 gigabytes a second. So that's wild. So if you want to have a chat, look at it. I think it's one of the last few videos on TechDunk. It's the main channel, which also hit 10k subs, by the way, I think yesterday. So that's also very exciting. All right, pull data in the first one. All right, and now we're gonna see if CoreCLR breaks down again. I hope I just have fixed it by removing the water rendering, but I'm afraid not. All right, CoreCLR. And yeah, I think we have to do a clean build, don't we? It's already stripping all the shaders, right, that it can? Yeah, I'm afraid so. Yeah, I'm afraid this is just gonna take a while. Maybe we can try a not clean build to see if it is a bit better for shaders. Because if just the shaders are cached, that's already gonna be huge. Oh, no, save the scene again, of course. Maybe we have to load a different scene so it doesn't have to resave every time. Something is invalidating the saving. Yeah, this seems to be a lot faster, so it's good that we're not compiling shaders yet. Alright, boat attack is built. Fingers crossed that it works. Don't see anything launching. It's not a good sign. Come on. No, I'm afraid not. We can quickly do the check the Unity boat attack logs. Yeah, initializing provider. Shoot. I was really hoping this would work. Let's just to be sure do a clean build, and then if that doesn't work, then we need to rethink our progress here. Delete the current build just to be sure. Scenes must be saved, of course, they're not saved again. Save it again, of course. And the shaders are gonna take a while. I am so sorry for Loading Bar Simulator Part 2. Also, one thing I'm just starting to use is NVIDIA Broadcast. So that is the background blur, which is quite nice because my hand is still in focus. Well, if you do this on other tools, if your hand is here, it will blur it. And when it's in the background, it should also be quite sharp. Yeah. So the blur is done by that, and also the audio. Like, there are people next to me that are drilling as much that my table shakes, but with noise removal at max, it just works. It does reduce the quality of my microphone a little bit, but that's probably gonna be worth it over having drilling sounds the whole time. But also, that doesn't work anymore. Also, this is also using direct storage, by the way. If using 6.5 or later, it is gonna help your boot times quite some if you're on PC. And it's just as simple as enabling it right here, direct storage. So this is only on Windows and Xbox, but definitely worth it. Also, let's quickly do a non-development build to see if that's the issue. I keep having to switch scenes, actually. It's gonna ask it again, probably, to switch the scene when the scripts are compiled. Or is it gonna be nice this time? I think it's gonna be good. Oh no, there we go. Scripts have been changed. Yeah, code striping, that's fine. I also think for Linux at least, they did start to use the link time optimization options, but I haven't seen them yet. I also have not installed the Linux runtime. Oh, that's still not working. That's a shame. All right, let's close some windows. Bottleneck log. Oh, it's still initializing the profiler. How helpful. What could this be if it's something CPU related? If you have any ideas, please let me know. I'm a bit lost on why this is not working. Oh, it could be this manage striping levels. This was at high at default. It might mess with that. That might also have been the problem with the 2D project actually. Keep doing this. Oh, that's very quick for changing a striping option, but hopefully it does run. Hey, there we go. So there's an issue with code striping. We should probably make a bug report for that. But first, let's profile this. That would be great. Where are we? Analysis. Clear. Raise. Let's get it loaded in a little bit so we can actually see some boats. Last time I just started to press buttons and eventually it started working. I don't think that's gonna happen now. Yeah, there is the beautiful... Yeah, there we go. We can start profiling here, I think. Oh. Forgot to enable development build. Oh, there's also something... Oh, I made a build in a build. That's not helpful. Let's yoink this out then. Wait, cancel. Is it still? No, it's not still running. That's confusing to have the CoreCLR built in. Yeah, all right. Skip. It's not happy deleting this one. It's open in another program. Is it this one? Is the Unity picker? No. I don't think this is running. Oh, we can do this in the meantime to enable. Oh, minimal does work. What's medium? Test, that should be CoreCLR. There we go. And this should not launch. All right, let's skip. No, cancel this. And we make a new CoreCLR one. Because this is just stuck. CoreCLR 2. Oh. So fast. Right, and that should be in Bottleneck. Build. CoreCLR 2. Let's just stay here. Save the scene again. And then this one, test. Oh, yeah, save the scene, of course. This should crash. Right? Right. Oh, no, it's launching. Just took a while. But the screen is black. That's not good. All right, and we go back to minimum. Wait, it's... Oh, that's Bottleneck, sorry. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Okay. Then this at minimum, that should build then. Test, there we go. And we have Bottleneck ready. Please work. Oh, that's good. Should have something. There we go. Awesome. All right, let's get this loaded up in the background to go through the scenes. Of course, this is going to be busy. Oh, it's already profiling. That's good. some good music in the background. Right, yeah, I want to just have it loading in some boats, not this one. I used to really dig how they do the water with the planar reflections. It looks surprisingly good. Oh, Unity also launched the new screen space reflections some time ago. That's also going to be exciting. Alright, so now we have Mono versus CoreCLR. Wait. Yeah, I think so. For a 3D game, let's see how big of a difference there is. Not too much. Also, this is not too surprising as this is a very small demo project. Real projects have a lot more stuff going on. I am surprised with the difference in garbage allocation. So the scene should be very similar, but you see right here that's the... Oh, I think it was just... Never mind. It was probably just because the frames were very different. But in Bottlenecks, the performance is similar. And also, it being similar is not a bad thing at all. Because Unity already said this is just going to be feature parity and testing. So we should expect the same performance. And only in 6.8 and later on, they're going to optimize the performance, introduce new .NET and C# features. So this already being as fast or faster is already very good. But let's do quickly note this down for Bottlenecks, the performance on CoreCLR. The mean is 2.69. Nice. And this is 2.77. And let's quickly make an IL2 CPP build as well. Oh, also we might need to do mono again with the managed striping level at disabled. That might be fair. Sure. Of course, the scenes are, again, being edited. And let's do it again, of course. Too excited to get into building. I also don't think this is gonna make a major impact, but it might be some... it was stripping high. So it actually might be a quite decent change. So this is mono again, but then with no striping. Also, you see the texture streaming in. Could have increased the load of that a little bit. Since right now I think it is checking 64 renderers per frame, which isn't too much when you're just switching the cameras like that. I do feel like the FPS is a lot worse now. I might have messed something up here. Alright, let's pull this into the first one again. Because if this is a lot different, then I probably did something wrong in the profiling. Oh, it's updating. It's not too different, but it is somewhat different, actually. I mean, this is 3.09. And it was here 2.69. Alright, that might be the code striping. Again, not any conclusive results here. This is just my first initial tests. Mainly surprised about the build times. That's very nice. And now the probably longest build, this will be fun, is gonna be IL2 CPP, and let's do a clean build just to be sure. And set folder, save it. That's so annoying. I do wonder what it is changing now, but yeah. Alright, let's have this build and not tax the CPU too hard in the meantime. And let's see the previous one, CoreCLR 2, that's boat attack. The test project right here. This should crash, right? Nope. Alright, again, no idea why it was crashing on the initial loads. Probably does have something to do with the performance of the code striping. But yeah, let's see. Also, right here's the real crux. If we can make builds also for Android without IL2 CPP, the builds are going to be so much faster. To me, while performance is very nice, if it's within 10%, for me the real win is the compilation times. Since I often run into issues that are Android XR specific, and then having to wait 30 seconds to 3 minutes for just every build is just taking so long. And it of course has to do it every time, as it is changing the code. So if that could be faster, then I'm very down for that. Oh, there you go. That's quite fast. That is in 98 seconds. That was a clean build. But I feel like it is not compiling the shaders anymore. So a clean build might not fully redo the shaders. Maybe. Could be interesting. Alright, let's do IL2 CPP here. Yeah, that's gonna run in here. Start profiling. Oh, local. Windows player. Start. There we go. Boat attack. Race. Spectator and race again. And let's wait a second for it to go to the main race. So we can actually see some boats going. There we go. It is good to see that the results are always different. That does mean that the AI of the boats are doing something different every time. That's really nice. Alright, let's see how this is. Where is the profile analyzer? Go. And let's stop this, by the way, for any background music. We did lose the data. That's quite annoying. But alright, let's do on the right the new ones and CoreCLR on the left. Oh, we already got the data as well. So that's good. Single then, sure. And here the mean is 2.60. Oh, that matches. That's fair. I quickly do want to make a fresh build in CoreCLR as well, so we have that data as well. But honestly, if it runs good enough, then I'm not too surprised with it. Wait, this wasn't CoreCLR, right? No, I don't think so. Alright, let's go back to CoreCLR. And let's do a clean build. CoreCLR 2, as the previous one probably still is broken. Still have the issues with the scenes. Also, while this is going, some quite exciting news. Unity for now, every beta has a bug reporting sweepstake. So if you report bugs in the beta, then you can add a hashtag beta sweepstake and then the Unity version or something. It's on the discussions if you want to read it. But they give away 3D GPUs every beta, which is quite generous. And I won one of the GPUs, actually the last beta, which is a 4070 Super. So that is really exciting. And if you want a quick tip on how to hyper optimize this, I just have a separate project, a beta in the beta, and if I have any bugs in any Unity version, including then the LTS, I'll just copy over the code via Unity package to the beta version. so I can get an entry into the sweepstake. So if you're interested in that, that might be worth it as well. Right, let's start recording CoreCLR again. If performance is very different, I have probably done something wrong. Oh, it was going. There you go. Going yet. There we go. Let's have it load a little bit more. There we go. This is a good sample. Take it. Yeah, this spike is for me dragging the window, so let's not compare that one too much. And CoreCLRs should be in the left. And let's sample as part of the start, so it's more fair for the me dragging the window. Let's do this and then this. Oh. Should be about a similar spot. The mean is here 2.31. But it's changing the data once again. I think I'm basically running into Unity right now, as the performance is quite similar across all the different backends. I do want to try Mono as well then with a clean build. Oh wait, what was the build time? Forgot about that. Did it not save the build time? Oh, here we go, 50 seconds. Oh, that's good. That is great. Oh, we do need to do a clean build Mono, so we can profile then either way. That's good. We do want to keep this one active and go back to Mono with a clean build. Let's, just to be sure, also wipe out the data here, so it doesn't use that for caching or anything, even with a clean build. Mono, select, save and continue, of course, again. And save again. It's ready for it that time. Let's quickly check if anyone has said anything about the stream on socials. On LinkedIn, not that many people there. Quite some views on X, that's nice. I can't see Instagram right now as that's probably on my phone. Not sure if you can access statistics on the web version of login of Instagram. Also, it is done with Mono. That's 50 seconds again, I think. Yeah, that's all right. And let's try to run it. Boat attack. Boat attack. Get the profiler back up. Where is it? Analysis profiler. And let's start recording the FPS. Are you there? There we go. Race. Spectator and race again. I'm trying to do a capture right now for Instagram. It just says, well, you might be a robot. I'm like, thanks. I do feel like the captchas are getting harder over time, which is a bit frustrating. Really doesn't help that I'm using Firefox with an ad blocker. Might not fully trust it either. Alright, let's see if this is any different. Close this. And let's load it into the right one. Let's see what the mean is here. 2.57. I think that's quite similar to what I had. Oh no, it's actually a bit better. All right, this is just, again, FYI, this is not any like complete test or anything. This is just me wanting to try it. And testing out the latest alpha version, so don't take this as anything permanently. And again, the performance should improve over time quite drastically, as it has all the latest C# features. For now, that's not in there at all. No, I can't see my Instagram notifications as well. That's fine. Can see Discord. Right, someone might join in the chat as well. Says if he knew I was live, he would join in for an interview. Nice. If you're in the chat, Wessel, then good to see you again. And let's go back to OBS on the second screen. All right. Honestly, I think performance is quite nice. Again, this is in very small mixed projects, which aren't necessarily too intensive. But this already is a nice improvement. And also, build times is the stuff that surprised me most, especially on Happy Harvest. Going from 90 seconds to 23 seconds is very nice. So I do think we should make a small post about this in a bit on the discussions. And then let's try to replicate that crash again on CoreCLR. Oh, that's L2CPP. Also, I've never tried this, but apparently there are quite some more optimizations if you put the C++ compiler to master, as it does, well, more optimizations then. So honestly, I am quite curious. Let's just, while we're at it, do a master test for Bottlenecks and see if this outperforms maybe the other builds. Because it's not selecting LinkedIn optimization, right? No, not yet. Alright, I'm afraid this is gonna take a while. I also notice that for some reason it is auto-translating my messages in chat to Dutch, which is sometimes a bit confusing. I'm not sure how to turn this on actually. So that's why I have to really focus, as I have to first hover over it and then make sure my mouse stays in the good spot to read what people are saying. Oh yeah, save the scene, of course. It's gonna ask for it again, doesn't it? No? Alright. That's good. Yeah, this right now should take quite some time, as it is using the master channel. But I think it is good to test. Let's already add this. Let's just see how bad this will become. Well, I think master also does link time optimization, if I'm right. And I know for Linux you now have the control over it. But I'm always a bit confused about the Linux support, as right now with Proton the Unity support is quite good. So I've heard quite some cases where people were making native builds for their Linux games using Unity, and that performance was worse than when people took the Windows build and just ran Proton for the compatibility layer, which is a bit counterintuitive. So I do hope that over time that will be better. But I'm afraid that the Windows builds, unless Unity, the CoreCLR player, works so good, or they have other optimizations, I'm not too sure what the exact reasons will be. But it would be great if native Linux builds would be better than a compatibility layer, since logically speaking, that doesn't make any sense. Actually curious if we can find online how much longer this should take. That's one of the windows. It's this one, right? Yeah. Probably more people testing here. Yeah, here we go. The shader compilation is probably the issue. I do have to actually look at the DXC compiler. And virtual textures is also something that's dropped. That's very interesting. Honestly, 6.7 is starting to look really good. Compiler Unity. Because previously you had to have some scripting symbols in there. But I think with the latest updates, oh, this is very long ago. In the latest updates, I think I linked this actually. Yeah, there we go. In the beta, in shader build settings, after this is done, we have to check that out. And I assume that if it's in the beta, that's also going to be in the alpha, right? It's in beta 1, so that should definitely be in it. The XC, yeah, it is in here. Wait, enable the shader compilation for Windows Player when using Linux and or macOS. Oh no, that should be fine. Oh, is it done actually? No, it's still compiling. This might have been a mistake. Probably not gonna be happy if I open Task Manager. Oh, it's not too bad. It's not actually using too much. It's just using one core. Yeah, it's using 2 cores right here. Maybe the linking part isn't too hyper-threaded. Too multi-threaded, I mean. Yeah, that's not too bad. That's good to know. So for the people watching, what are the latest features that you're most enthusiastic about? To me, it's probably still a CoreCLR. But especially since I'm working on a bigger PC project as well, I think it's also really nice to have the screen space reflections and the new ambient occlusion, the ground truth ambient occlusion version. I think that's going to be really nice for a quite, yeah, not performance-wise free, but a very easy drop-in replacement for better visuals. I think I can Unity GTAO. There we go. Oh, that's all the official stuff. Nothing new here, I think. Can sort for created. I feel like the order here isn't right. But oh, here we go. This is the one we were searching for. Just people have posted before and afters, like no ambient occlusion and then the new ground truth ambient occlusion. But I'm like, no, I want to see the difference between both of the versions, not with and without. I don't think the guide has it either. Oh, is this it? No. No, but anyhow, they have a new ground truth ambient occlusion system, which is slightly more expensive and it uses more compute. But it should look quite a bit better. Although the screen space ambient occlusion also is not too bad in my opinion. The running, yep, it's still linking. Right, if it is going on for over 10 minutes, I might just have to kill it since I do have to end stream at 6, so that's in 20 minutes. And I do still want to try to find the new compilation shader compiler. Yeah, what other news is there? Yeah, netcode. There are quite some new updates for netcode, but honestly, I've just not been too fond of network development. I have one time created a small demo using networking for college, and that was just using the Unity Transport API without any netcode or something. So it was quite bare bones, and that just broke the fun in multiplayer development for me, since it was so tedious and everything needed to be set up manually. So no, for me, the networking part is not my favorite part of development. Honestly, I think I might just kill the build. I'll wait for 8 minutes. I'm getting impatient. Oh, here, no, that's LTO in Android. Also nice, by the way. I do use it for the quest already, so that's the MetaQuest specific one. For that, it works quite well. The builds aren't too much faster. Oh, okay. So it's LTO on. You'd have to put it to master for the settings to enable. That's interesting. All right, then I'm not gonna wait for this too much longer. No, does it have to complete it? Please cancel it. Oh, that's end task. Oh, it's done. That's nice. Yeah, there we go. So do we see LTO appear right now? Actually, I did not check it out. No, it's not there yet. All right. I'm not too sure if it's for Windows already. Anyhow, let's try to kill CoreCLR so we can make a bug report for this. And finally, after all this time, let's go to the main menu so we don't have to save the scene every time. I should have done this way earlier, I think. All right, yeah, the profiler can be on still. Warm build should be fine. And let's build it. This shouldn't take too long. I asked you to build, right? Oh, it failed? Journal build error. Is this because I cancelled the last one? Did it corrupt the cache? Oh, it's also back into the other scene? It's confusing. I think we need to make a clean build, yeah. That's fair. I did kind of force it down. Yeah, I think it is going further now. That's good. All right. That's problem one solved. Now, this shouldn't take too long. There we go. And it should crash. Oh, there we go. So it does strip out too much. When it has too much. So let's quickly make a report for that. And then I think we will end stream with that. So let's then help report a bug. All right, that's in the player. It always happens for me. There's black. Also, I see someone else joined the stream. If you have any questions or want to see the performance results of the stream, just let me know and then I'll show them. Meanwhile, I will be typing out this bug report. And let's add the error in there. Minimum or none. All right. There we go. This shouldn't take too long as well. And we can also probably make a small post about the changes here. Oops, there we go. All right. Yeah, the results are for both attack the compilation. Is this still good? Why is this not zipping? Oh well. That's probably gonna be an issue for later. Boat attack. Mono is 50 seconds. L2 CPP is 98 seconds. Oh, there we go. That's going faster. And CoreCLR also was 50 seconds. With warm shaders. And for Happy Harvest, this was a bit better. It was 23, 40, 90. So this is the 40, 90, and 23. So these are just the quick results that we found out. And then we need some ones here. The performance. That is the average frame time. Boat attack is, okay, 2.31. That is CoreCLR. Oh, that's the wrong one. 2.31. Mono was 2.57. And ILT-CPP was 2.60. Is it right? Yeah, all right, cool. And then Happy Harvest is, oh, these ones, yeah. 2.3 for CoreCLR. And then ILT-CPP was 2.82. And then Mono was 2.71. Also, Mono was slower here. That's interesting. It was faster than ILT-CPP. All right, so yeah, no scientific results. That makes sense. You can check the testing here. the live stream. So if you still want to be in the live stream, I think you have to let me know quite soon. This URL from stream has been copied. So we can add this embedded. It's a bit nicer. And that can be gone. All right, cool. So, well, these are the results I got. I have gotten. Starting to be a bit of a loss for words after talking so much. The main thing that surprised me was the compilation speed. It is just so much faster to make these builds. And especially if you need to test a lot in builds for either performance reasons, or if you're using VR, you often need to build to the headset to test, as not all the same functionality as an editor. This is gonna save you a lot of time for development. And next to that, hey, the performance is better. Probably during runtime, it's somewhere between, let's say, for now, between 0 and max 20%. That would be a lot if it would be 20% faster. But maybe if you're very CPU bottleneck, that might be helpful. And also good to know, again, this is going to increase over time. In the future, this will be even faster. They will have the latest C# and .NET features, which will improve performance, of course. So really looking forward to seeing that. So I hope you enjoyed this live stream. If you did, also let me know. If you're watching the replay, let me know in the comments below. And I hope I can catch you in another stream.